Hello, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. It is me, Robert, and I am here with a video that's probably going to be my last video for a while because my son is going to be going on spring break for a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be very busy while he is off from school. So I won't be doing videos or bothering anybody around here for a while. Until after the break is over, and then I think what I'm going to do is get back into doing my video requests that people have asked to see things that I keep falling away from because other things pop up or whatever, but I have a running list that I'm going down, and I'm going to get to them eventually. All of them, I hope, in my lifetime. So the name of this video is, as you can see by the title, right? Another Side of Bobby Z. Basically. Getting that kind of like a nod right there to Bob Dylan. You know, Bob Dylan's famous album, Another Side of Bob Dylan. So Another Side of Bobby Z, which is me, of course. And what this video, the intent of this video is to give you some insight into me as a person. Like, who am I? Who are you watching? Who are you tuning into? Just some information and all about me. And I know that there are very, very popular videos that people do from time to time that they title Q&A, you know, the Q&A videos. Those were huge at one point. I guess maybe they faded away a little bit here, but people came on and you could ask 3 questions or 2 questions of the person or whatever it is, and then they would come on and answer your questions in videos and stuff. So most of that has to do with music-related items, though, for the most part, you know. Here I'm going to share some information about me as a person. So you know who it is, who am I when you come to my channel or you're watching my videos. You know, to a certain extent, I could tell you. First of all, I want to say that I've been active around here for years now in this vinyl community, music community, vinyl community. I have been around here for a while now. This is 2019. To be honest with you, I can't remember when I first started to do videos. Maybe my closer friends who have been around here with me all that time, maybe they would have a better idea than even I do. I think it might be 2013, 2012 or 2013. Could even be 2012. I mean, it could be like 7 years or 6 or 7 years that I've been coming here acting a fool and getting all nutty or whatever, you know, bothering people. So it's been a while. Like, I've known, I'll just mention Bobby Gass. Bobby Gass and I have been friends here for a long time. Another one is Rob Paniques. A long, you know, for years. Trish, you know. And historically, throughout my channels, because I've had several channels here for different reasons, this one I feel is going to be here to stay. If this one doesn't take and hold and stay put, I'm done. I'm not going to continue. So this one's got to be the last hurrah for me. But now historically, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen, where I'll come on in my videos and I clown around quite a bit. I get pretty silly at times and just, I try to get creative with things like contest responses for friends if they're having a contest. I try to let my imagination kind of unwind there and come up with something cool that I think would be entertaining and informative and answering their topic question all at the same time, you know. And it gets pretty wild in some of on my older channels, I'm kind of tame nowadays compared. On my first Robert Z channel, it was crazy. So people may view that, like I just did a drawing video. Here's a great example. I did the drawing video for my February contest. All you need to do is watch that video if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, and you'll see what I mean as far as me getting all nutty and having a good time and joking around and just having a grand old party or whatever in here when I'm doing videos at times, you know. So people may view this and think to themselves, because I remember seeing comments and I would just have to smile to myself, you know, oh, Robert Z, he's a clown. He's just a clown, you know. So is this really what there is to me? Well, of course it's part of my personality. It makes up a part of me. How could it not? I wouldn't be able to display it the way I do in certain videos when I'm getting all animated and stuff like that, you know. So it's definitely a part of my personality, if you will. However, this is another side of Bobby Z. When that camera goes off and the curtain comes down and the lights are off, you know what I mean? There are issues and daily life, day in and day out situations here, circumstances here, that are of an extremely serious nature, complicated, okay? So what you're seeing in these goofy type videos of mine, I am trying to entertain my audience, have fun, do justice to a friend's contest question, if you will. Not just come on and just throw some kind of thing out there and now put my name in the hat for your contest. I want to put forth some effort and make it worthwhile, both for myself and for for who's ever watching the video. Now, when I do this, it acts for me because there can be such an intense amount of stress that we're dealing with here daily, that these type of videos act for me as a pressure relief valve mechanism, if you will. A stress, let me just let loose and depressurize mechanism, if you will, if you can understand. Now, I know a lot of you don't understand what I'm talking about as far as our daily existence and everything. Our son has autism. And I don't know how familiar you are with this disorder, but it is very, very, very challenging, and you have to be on your toes. And what is going on 24 hours, 7 days a week, there is never a let up from this. Now, right now he's at school, so you do have times where you could take a breath because he goes to special type schooling and things of that nature. Now, is this video designed to say, oh, poor Robert and Betty? No, please. We've been dealing with this since his diagnosis, which has been a long time ago. He was officially diagnosed when he was about 3 years old. But what we are navigating our way through, day in and day out, regarding the care of our son, is something that unless you have actually lived with autism, you could never possibly hope to understand. You could never. You could try to sympathize, empathy, whatever. You could never fully grasp what Betty and I are exposed to and what we have to deal with. Now our son is everything to us. Make no mistake about it. I love him with a love that would never be able to be measured. You know, this is a pure, total, across the board sacrifice of me for me and Betty. It's a total, complete sacrifice. You dedicate and turn over your life to the care and well-being of, in this case, our son, because of his disorder. Completely. Betty and I could never go on a weekend getaway together, even for just an overnight getaway, because there would be no one who would be able to watch over our son because of his circumstances. Now try to imagine that. The Calvary is not coming over the hill to rescue me and Betty, in other words. You understand what I'm saying? This is it. And you better pull on your boots and buckle down, because otherwise you'll go mad. You'll lose your mind. You better be able to deal with it. Period. So, the nature of what is going on here is of such a degree. Now, he's everything to us. I mean, he's a great guy. Bobby is loving. I just want to hug him and I kiss him. And I mean, he's 19, but I don't care. I mean, he's everything to me. We go shopping together. He's completely nonverbal. You have to understand, he's never uttered a word with the intent of communicating in his life. He uses special communication type devices in order to communicate. Or he'll use something called PECS. The acronym PECS, which stands for Picture Exchange Communication System. He has been in extensive ABA type programs since his diagnosis, which stands for Applied Behavioral Analysis. We're talking heavy duty shit here, people. So the guy that you see dancing around in here, singing, smiling, just being full of happiness and just, you know what I mean? How I am in those type videos. You're not seeing the side of me when that camera's off. Do you know what scared the crap out of me? Do you remember Robin Williams? And Robin Williams always wanted to make people laugh. He was a great genius comedian, Robin Williams. And what ultimately happens to Robin Williams? He commits suicide because of what he was internalizing and feeling inside was so dark to him inside. People had no idea because of the face he would put on in public and of the way he would entertain. Because he wanted people to be happy. He wanted people to laugh and smile and be full of joy and just have a good old time and cut up and be nutty. Because he didn't want those people to feel the intense pain that he felt inside himself. And when he committed suicide, not that I'm Robin Williams, but I want people to be happy. I try to make people happy. I want to do the best I can. You're having a stressful day, watch my video and just laugh your ass off. fall out of your chair laughing, watching me act a fool in here, because I don't want you to feel some of what I'm feeling at times. Can you understand that? Okay, let me move on to a different, because God knows how long, I don't want this video to be ridiculously long. I am a recovering alcoholic. Now, when I say I'm an alcoholic, ladies and gentlemen, when I quit drinking, I was calling people up to dump their Seagram stocks. Okay, you understand? I was like, excuse me, yeah, I quit drinking. You want to sell? The way I used to drink is nothing to be proud of. Okay? It's a disease. It's horrible. Now, I mean, I went to hell and back getting over that. Do you know the funny thing about alcohol? It's the most dangerous drug there is, and it's legal. You can die, literally die, from alcohol withdrawal. It is one of the most dangerous drugs to detox from, alcohol. You don't want to get on that ride, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You don't want to get on that ride. Many people don't make it. That's why it's so damn hard to quit these addictions. Drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and so on. Heroin, cocaine. There are things that I grew up on the streets of New York City as an only child in the 70s. There is shit that I have seen and been exposed to that I'm not going to get into. I'm not going to get into discussion and things on, I mean, you would think that I was sensationalized. If I started to get into, you would think that I was, sensationalizing some of the shit that I was saying to you. They'd be like, Robert, man, are you Hollywooding on me? Is this Hollywood? No. You can't even believe it. Some of the shit. There were a lot of addicts in my family. It was crazy. Now, I'm an only child. I'm talking about uncles of mine and things of that nature. My father was an alcoholic. My grandmothers were alcoholics. It was ridiculous. But anyway. My Uncle Stevie was a heroin addict. He died of AIDS, not because of his lifestyle, but because he shared dirty needles. So I was seeing things and hanging out around things and doing things and this and that and this that you can't even begin to imagine. New York City in the mid-70s to late 70s. Me being alive, speaking to you here is a bona fide miracle. It's a miracle. There's no other word me talking to you now is a flippin' miracle. If you've never seen a miracle before, you've seen a miracle. This is it. There's no way I should still be living. There's no way I should still be living. Never mind the violent attitude that I used to have back in the day. Now I'm a sweetheart. I mean, I didn't give a rat's ass who was walking down the street towards me. It could have been King Kong. I had no regard for consequence. None. If it was King Kong, I was going to shove my bazooka up King Kong's ass and blow his ass up to the moon. I didn't give a shit. All right. But anyway, I don't want to start unraveling here because I could feel myself. Sometimes I could feel the old claws trying to claw themselves out of my stomach. But yeah, so I'm a recovering alcoholic. It was horrific getting past that in the beginning. Now I'm a lot better. I go to meetings, you go to AA, you read, you do what you can, but the bottom line is mentally and physically, you've got to get past that addiction, at least the initial stage of the alcoholism. There's no cure for alcoholism. I'm not going to take a magic pill and be cured. Doesn't work that way. This is a lifelong thing. You got to stay on your toes. You cannot let your guard down with that. I'm retired Air Force. I served my country for 26 years. You're saying, Robert, man, you had all this crazy shit going on and they never kicked you out of the military, or how did you stay in for 26? I had a very successful, I was well decorated. I'm a veteran of the First Gulf War. I was involved with many different operations. I was an aircraft mechanic. I worked many different types of aircraft in my life: fighters, bombers, tankers, and cargo aircraft. Everything across the board. Because with my alcoholism, I had it under control because you don't want to get caught. You have to protect your addiction at all costs. You don't want anyone fucking with your alcohol. The alcohol to you becomes a jealous lover, if you can understand that. And it is going to push anything out of the way that may interfere with your relationship with it. So you protect it. I would go about my business. I had my routine. I knew what I was doing. I could talk the talk and walk the walk. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I could con Christ Almighty if he crawled down off of that cross. I'd have him believe in anything that I would want him to believe for me. Believe me. That's how much you get to start conning and the bullshit. That's all associated with the sickness of addiction. Okay? So I protected it all those years. I used to drink to blackout every day of my life. Do you know what a blackout is? A blackout is when you are walking and talking and interacting and associating with people and society and this and that, but the next day you have absolutely no recollection whatsoever of what you did. You do not know what you did. Do you know how frightening and dangerous that can be? You've got people telling you what you did. I didn't know what it was like to go to sleep like a normal person because I drank to blackout every day of my life. Now, this is years ago when I was in the Philippines. I actually turned myself in and went into detox. That was the first time I tried that. And I got emotional the first time I went to sleep. When I had to reach over and turn the lamp off to go to sleep, like a normal fucking person, I was like, man, this is what it's like to go to sleep. I had no idea. I was in a blackout all the time, man. All you knew was waking up with a hangover, disoriented, scared to death because you couldn't remember what happened the night before. Yeah, there's a lot more to me than dancing around this room acting like an idiot. Yeah. So, I'm very proud of my military service. I was very serious about that. I retired as a master sergeant. Anyway, I wanted to share some of the other side of me, the side that is not the individual in this room with the music playing, with me singing and carrying on. Why do I mention all of this? So that you have more of an insight about me when you tune into my channel. So that you see, at least for this video right here, another side of me. That all of what you're seeing in here is not what you're seeing. So, I mention this because Betty and I, regarding autism, have a wealth of experience, of course. We're advocates for autism. If anybody, this is the purpose really, the culmination of this video is to help others. That is always my goal. Try to help others. If any of you ever find yourself, God forbid, in similar situation as us, please contact us if you're overwhelmed. Because when we first heard about the diagnosis, it was as if I was receiving news that I was going to die. You're hearing about your child. How do you process this? I would have rather a doctor came in and said, Robert, you got like 3 days to live. Enjoy them, How do you process this about your child? What does he have? What are we doing? Okay. If any of you ever are faced with this, contact me and Betty. If you're friends with us on Facebook, or any type of disorder, Down syndrome, not that we're specialists or doctors or anything, and we don't have experience like with Down syndrome that I just mentioned, but if you're stressing with some type of a situation related to what I'm talking about here in regards to autism, living with autism, contact us just for support. Especially if you are dealing with autism, for sure. Maybe you could say, hey, Robert and Betty, I'm running into this. Have you run into this? And what tactics and strategies have you used to overcome this? We're talking about self-injurious behavior. We're talking about challenges with diet. We're talking about challenges with toileting. You can't even begin to imagine what we're talking about here. Okay, so you come up with strategies and this and that to overcome certain things when you can. Meltdowns, behavioral issues, and so on. So please contact us in that regard if you ever needed our help, is what I'm saying. And in regards to alcoholism, same thing applies. Robert, I'm trying to get over this or that or whatever. Again, I don't have a PhD on my wall. I was trained extensively while I was in the Air Force. I'll tell you that right now. Suicide prevention and dealing with personal issues and substance abuses and things like that. Isn't that ironic? Here I was, an alcoholic the way I was, and I would have to counsel people on alcoholism. It was ridiculous sometimes. But if you are suffering from this and you say, Robert, just as a crutch, sometimes people, you just need someone to lean on. Hey, man, Robert, I'm scared about this, man. I think maybe I do have a drinking problem. What do you think? Or you know how many questionnaires and shit I used to have to answer when you do get thrown into detox, or you do get thrown into the hospital and you're an inpatient because you have to get your act together. Otherwise, you're going to die from this shit. Anyway, Betty and I are here for you. I am here for you. That is the message. This transcends music. Fuck the music. I love the music. I love my music, but this is of a nature that the friendships here go way beyond the music. And I am here for you should you need me. And Betty is here for you should you need her or you need us or whatever the case is. Are you understanding that? And when you tune in to a future funny, goofy kind of video of mine, I want you to have a ball. I want you to laugh your ass off. I want you to have fun with me and dance around your house. And we all have a great time. But just have that little seed of knowledge back there saying, yeah, I remember that Other Side of Bobby Z video that Robert did. Take care, everybody.